If you're just joining us on our house build series, let me catch you up to where we're at. With the help of a few friends, Elaina and I framed the entire first floor. That includes setting all the garage headers, putting all the sheeting on, and installing the floor joists and rim board. The plan from the start was to do this first floor ourselves, then bring in a local Amish crew to help with the rest. We figured we'd have some fun with the first floor and some learning, but avoid the really difficult tasks of things like setting ridge beams and building all the second floor walls and roof. Working at height brings a whole new element to framing, and we thought it was best to hire that out to a crew. So that's where this video picks up. The guys arrived and the first thing was helping to sheet the whole floor. Mr. Wheelbug's just up there, top of the wall, enjoying the show. This will roughly be the view out the hallway window. And this is about the view out the bedroom window. Not too bad. Well, that is the end of day one with the Amish guys on site helping finish up the floor platform. My goodness, I'm glad I hired help for that. It just sucks muscling around these 3/4 inch sheets. It's like 95 degrees, 100% humidity out here today. Just not a fun day to be working, but they really did a good job. Little things that are non-standard for them, such as some blocking details on the TGIs, took a little bit of learning. I sort of had to walk them through it to start. They messed up a couple. It is what it is. I mean, it's to be expected when you're hiring out any kind of help and you have the attention to detail that I have and the expectation for perfect that I have. You have to give that up a little bit if you're in that same situation. But overall, they're doing a fine job. It's nice to have a subfloor. We're about 3/4 of the way done with the sheeting. So it feels cool to be able to walk around inside and know that rain will no longer be hitting this slab with all my tools and stuff on it. The guys are gonna be back first thing tomorrow to finish the subfloor and to start with the walls. So I gotta go home, get loaded up with wall framing material and get back here tomorrow morning. They're gonna be here at like 6:30, so I'm gonna have to get up real early and that's gonna call for a good night of sleep. So signing off for today, we'll start this up again tomorrow. This is kind of scary, these massive bee looking things just started making nests in our pile of stone dust. These holes are just all through it, and these massive, scary flying things are coming out of them. Let's see if I can get one coming out. Camera does not really do it justice how large that is. It's at least the size of like my thumb. It's the morning of day two. It's day two here on site. Guys are upstairs working on the back wall. While they do that, I'm double checking our window rough openings, making sure that they match the sizes of the windows that we ordered. Can't wait to get these things in. They look awesome. And I'm taking down all of our temporary bracing here in the garage. Now that the floor system on and the walls are all sheathed and nailed off, it's a pretty strong box, so it's okay to take these braces down now. The guys quickly wrapped up sheeting the floor and then we're on to framing the back wall. This was a fairly simple wall to frame, just 2 windows and a door opening, and it was 9 foot tall so they could use the pre-cut studs. Second floor walls going up. First one. Let's talk a little bit about this steel column that's coming down through the garage and going all the way up to the ridge beam. This actually has nothing to do with the floor system. It is purely to support the ridge beam, which is this guy right here. That beam is what keeps the whole roof from collapsing, and it's 40 foot long, the same width as the building. To make installation easier, I split it into 2 20-foot sections. This column is what supports that break in the middle. So to get the height of that blocking just right, I had the guys make the LVL stack up just a little bit proud and then had them plane it down to the top of the eye joist. That way there was no guesswork. Once the floor sheets were on, we knew that column would be right under where it was supposed to be. Yep, 13.7 it is. Oh, did you guys run the 9-foot sheets first? There was a couple 9-footers on top. Oh, I think they're on the bottom now. Make sure you use 8s all the way, because our blocking's got to be in the wall. I want that to be all together. So skip those. I think it's 4 or 5 sheets on the bottom. Yep, those are 9s. They were left over from the first floor wall. Those are 9-foot sheets down there. All right. Good stuff. And then just to be continuous with the first floor, I did a 4-8 nailing pattern, 4 on the edges, 8 in the centers. Just try to copy that. How's the lumber working? Not too twisted? Not too bad. I know storing it was definitely not the best for it, because it allowed it to dry quite a bit and twist up a little bit, but overall I think it stayed okay. If there's any that are real bad, just don't use them. I'll get you new ones. Okay. I feel like now you guys are in your element. Like this is what you're used to, right? Yeah. Wall framing. So you guys have used it before, right?
Yeah, we did a little bit.
Okay, let me know when you want the tape. This afternoon, I'm gonna go around and tape the lower floor, at least on this back side here. Okay. That way we can put the horizontal tape lapped over it and keep going up with the second floor. All right. It probably seems like I'm micromanaging these guys, but I can't tell you how many times I had to come up and correct something that was definitely gonna cause a major problem down the road. It's just part of having a custom designed structure that's getting built for the first time. There's just certain things that were in my head that weren't clearly communicated on the plans, and I was glad I was there to make sure it went correctly as it was actually getting built. Next step is our ridge beam. We're going to set this post here, set one just like it on the other side, and then that will define where our rafters are going to go.
A little bit. A little more.
Today or tomorrow.
Good.
Luckily, I invested in that 12-foot extendable plate level made by Stabilo that really came in handy for getting these columns nice and plumb all the way from the bottom to the top. The 2 temporary support columns in the middle there were just to hold the beam in place while the rest of the framing happened. We put the steel column in later and then were able to pull those out. It's safe to say OSHA was not on site during this part. All right, that's a wrap on day 2. Got some good progress done. It was 3 guys again working. Back walls framed up, about half of it sheeted, and then of course the big structural ridge beam up as well, standing on 13-foot tall posts. That is a double laminated 18-inch deep LVL. I would say each one of the halves of those beams, they're 2 20-foot sections, probably weighs on the order of like 350, 400 pounds each. Maybe more than that, I don't know, but it's a little bit sketchy watching the guys install that. I'm glad that I hired this part out because they literally had that telehandler, reached out, and that thing standing on the work platform just dangling off with this 300 or 400 pound beam. But luckily the beam did not hit the floor. I was really glad that it did not get dropped somehow. and it's braced up in place. It looks a lot less sturdy than it actually is. I went up there and shook some of the posts. It's actually fairly sturdy, and I think it's about to rain, so it's probably a good thing too, because I don't want any wind blowing this thing down overnight. The plan for tomorrow is to finish these gable walls, get some rafters set and see how far we can get. Maybe even get onto some roof sheeting, I'm not sure. I think we'll want to get the dormers framed up before we get started there, but I'm gonna go home, get some more materials tonight, and get ready for the day tomorrow. I'm pretty much burning all my vacation for the year on this project, the framing specifically. It's a lot of pressure for me, honestly, just because it's my design. I'd literally design every dimension in this place, and I really want to be here when things don't quite line up or something to be the final say, and this is the way it should or shouldn't be. That situation's happened several times already. I was missing dimensions on the drawing, or there's one thing or another that needed to get decided upon. So I'm glad that I'm here, and I think it is a worthy cause of burning all the vacation for, because framing, it's pretty tough to go back. Like roofing, siding, soffit, that kind of thing, it can fairly easily be reworked, but once you got like an 800-pound ridge beam in the air, you don't really want to change the height of it ever again. So let's get ready for tomorrow morning. Here's our nightly routine. After dark, loading lumber for the next morning. The barn is starting to look emptier. That is a good sign. And who is this pretty little lumber loader? Getting a workout.
Yep.
Those are 2x10 24s. Those are all 26s already loaded. All of our roof rafters, 60 of them.
This is a wrap on this video. There was a ton of framing content, so I thought it warranted a multi-part series. Stay tuned for the next one, which will chronicle the install of all the rafters, the gable end wall framing, and the dormer framing. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate you following along. Until next time.